All right, everyone, welcome to this new moon Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for Friday, December 11th, and it's also the weekend forecast through the 13th of December. So this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to this type of astrology, do check the description down below because the signs are different. All right, so we have a new moon in Ophiuchus here on Friday, and so it's a new beginning in regards to healing. You know, Ophiuchus is the serpent bearer. And if you look at ancient times, the serpent is often associated with the, quote, lower aspects of self, where we have fear, where we have attachments. And Ophiuchus is essentially being aware of those and accepting that we have them. Because it's only once we accept fear, it's only once we accept that we have attachments, are we able to do anything about them? Are we able to transmute them into higher states of consciousness? So it's a great time during this new moon to reflect on where we might have those, where we might be holding on too tight, where we might have fears, and to work on it and use this whole lunar cycle as a healing time, especially going into 2016, because 2016 is going to be a very healing year with the South Node going over Chiron. And if you haven't had a chance, do check out the interview I did with KG Styles earlier in the week. There's a sneak peek of 2016. I'll put a link down below for that. But anyways, this new moon is segueing into next year. So very impactful, very important. And I think any healing we do over this next lunar cycle can, really set the stage for that. So this new moon, it's a good time to reflect, see where that is, and then as the lunar cycle continuously builds, putting more energy into action with it. But the energies are low right now, so it's a good time to reflect, to go within and think about where we could do maybe some of that healing. Now the new moon is forming a T-square up to Chiron and Jupiter, who've been opposing each other. So the key with this is it could take work. It could take that extra attention, and maybe a lot of it has to do with being our true self. And that's being healed with Chiron finishing up his transit of Aquarius. And so being open to that. And then at the same time, there's been a lot perhaps we've been learning about our self-expression with Jupiter and Leo. So continuously expanding and growing on that level and continuously wanting to learn more about our interests, our hobbies, our self-expression in general is a good way of constructively working with this and balancing the two. Because it's almost like on one hand we have the healing we're doing by being our true self and maybe joining the community or anything collective, which is Chiron and Aquarius, and seemingly opposite these interests or these passions in our self-expression. But it's all about integration. How can we integrate our self-expression with the collective or with others around us? So that's going to be an important aspect of this. Uranus and Mars are going to be in harmonious aspect to this new moon. They've been opposing each other this later part of the week, and it's been this time of revolutionary change, perhaps, really seeing where we might feel limited and where we can make change to have more freedom in our life, where we can take action to free ourselves up. So that's going to be a big part of this new moon, but it's in harmonious aspects. So I think we have the wherewithal. I think we have the drive, the motivation, the confidence to do this, especially with Mars sextiling up to it. I mean, there's an opening for that. And at the very least, we're willing to be our true self. And to some extent, we're willing to go with the flow now, maybe as a result of all of this Saturn squaring up to Neptune energy, right? So harmonious when we're really accessing freedom and doing it in a constructive way. But of course, because the opposition is still in effect, to do it balanced. And if we are feeling like liberation, if we are feeling like revolutionary change, making sure that we're keeping both feet firmly on the ground right now. So that's essentially the new moon in a nutshell. And let's go and do the weekend so you guys can see what's going on this weekend. Friday, as you can see here, very much relating to the new moon. It's going to be at 06:29 Eastern time. And a lot of these aspects you're seeing are what we just covered. Now, one of them, Venus trining up to Neptune, it could be quite an easygoing day. Maybe with those relationships, maybe with what we enjoy in life with Venus trining up to Neptune, which is quite good. Now, this Mars opposite Uranus energy is going to go on all weekend long, and especially through Saturday. And on Saturday, the moon does shift into Sagittarius. So I think there is that healed energy already just from Friday going into the weekend. Now, it is still this whole lunar cycle of healing, but there is on some level that expansive view and that optimism that comes as a result from that. So could be very optimistic, could be a good day for expansion, travel on a light note perhaps, connecting to nature, things like that. Saturday and Sunday in particular. The moon does conjoin up to Mercury on Saturday, so it could be good for learning, exchanging, socializing, things like that. And again, could be easy going. the moon will be in harmonious aspect up to that Neptune Venus trine. Then as we go into Sunday, the moon's still in Sagittarius, and the moon does go over Pluto, so it is quite a transformative day. It'll be important to, again, dive deep, be willing to transform any aspects of the self. And with the moon squaring up to both Uranus and Mars in that T-square, bringing that extra attention to our actions. And again, if we are feeling like liberating ourselves, doing that in that healthy way. One thing about Sunday going into Monday is that the sun will be squaring up to Jupiter. So there is that optimism, and this is that big part of that new moon I was talking about. So there's growth and expansion going into next week, but it does take that extra attention, that extra work, which is the square. Otherwise, it just feels good. Sun square Jupiter, we might just feel like expressing ourselves and maybe not do anything about it. So it's a good time to really constructively work on that on Sunday going into Monday, or at least start to plant seeds in regards to that with the new moon. All right, so I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all on Monday. Take care.